When the sun closes its eyes and the world is awash with afterglow, something wondrous unfolds. The gentle hush that settles over the land is like a secret lullaby, cradling meadows, rivers, mountains, and valleys alike. Whispers of wind glide through tall grass, and the breath of night carries a promise, soft, cool, and full of ancient dreams. As sunlight flees, dipping behind far-off hills painted with copper and deep crimson, a sense of expectancy blooms across the world. The bustling day has yielded to twilight's subtle touch, and everything slows. Birds huddle in their nests, their songs winding down to a few sleepy notes. Creatures of the forest tuck themselves into burrows and under leafy canopies. Even the restless rivers seem to hush. In the gentle silence, only the wind and the steady heartbeat of the earth can be heard. Regular, soothing, eternal. Above, the last glow of day melts away into the mysterious canvas of evening. Far at the edge of all things, where the seventh sky begins, a hidden door appears, wordless and weightless, seen only by those who know where to look. It creaks open, but not with a sound. Only a shiver in the mist reveals its entrance. There, suspended in a space beyond time or direction, floats a peculiar room that belongs as much to dreams as to the universe. This room, tethered delicately to nothing but slender threads of silver mist, looks as if it could drift away at any breath of cosmic wind. The mists shimmer with hints of starlight, threadbare yet strong, quivering with the movement of distant galaxies. There is no doorframe or threshold, only the gentle welcoming of open air. Inside, the floor is not made of stone or wood, but a soft layer of clouds, so pure it would dissolve at the touch of sunlight, yet firm enough to bear the weight of gentle footsteps. Settle down, and it's like lying upon dew-drenched petals, the scent of morning hugging close. Lift your gaze, and the ceiling is a drape of cosmic dust. Tiny crystals and fragments of light, like a river of dim stars flowing slowly above, meandering, twinkling, catching every stray color whispered from the edges of the universe. In this room hangs a single window, wispy and shining, more mirror than glass. Unlike normal mirrors, it never shows a reflection of oneself. Instead, it gathers rays from distant planets, capturing their colors in magical ripples. Here, the pale purple elegance of Saturn dances with the velvet orange from Mars. A tender green, borrowed from Uranus, weaves itself through the window, joining the other hues in a silent waltz. The room feels alive with every glance, and shadows tremble with stories yet untold. And then, across the face of the heavens, something shimmers into view. A rounded, gentle glow growing brighter. It is the moon, ancient traveler and teller of secrets. The moon moves unhurried, sliding through the darkness as though swept along by hidden currents of velvet night. It leaves behind a narrow braid of soft silver, all the world brighter for its passing. The moon wears a cloak, long as forgotten winters, woven from wisps of departing fog and trailing the silver gradients of eclipses from long ago. In the crook of its arm rests a tiny lantern, inside which flickers the faint fire of a dwindling star. It glows softly, just enough to see the path, but not enough to rouse those sleeping beneath blankets of galaxy dust. With a gentle step, the moon enters the floating room. Its face, round and kind, creases in a smile warm enough to reach every corner, driving pockets of shadow away. In answer to its arrival, from the fringes of nowhere, tiny stars begin to gather. They dart and spin, curious, bashful, eager to greet the moon. The stars fit in every shape, every color you might imagine. Pinpricks of red no larger than a freckle, bright yellow ovals that bounce on unseen threads, dancing blue twins spinning around each other, and tired white specks with yawn-stretched trails. Some are polished to brilliance, others are dulled by the play of time and dreams. The moon bends low, gathering these children light, ushering each to a place on the downy cloud floor. The stars settle, nestle, and curl in to listen. Laughter, as soft as moth wings, rises, then sinks. They jostle for space not out of competition, but out of excitement, each eager to hear the stories the moon keeps hidden in hushed pockets of eternity. Outside the room, the universe slips quietly into deeper dark. The Milky Way drapes itself like a shawl, casting pearls across the black. City lights on the earth below start to blink awake, shyly echoing the heavens. But high above, within their misty cloud room, the moon and its luminous children lack for nothing. Light gathers delicately, never too bright, never too soft, just perfect for the stories that must be spun. Now everything is ready. The huddle of stars quiets, hearts pulsing in rhythm, antennae and rays quivering in anticipation. The hush is respectful, not a sleepy silence, but one that twinkles, taut with the magic of possibility. Every story told in that cloud-throned room will be etched into memory, written onto the wind and carried down to the dreaming world. Soon, the moon will begin. The rich, gentle cadence of its tail weaving through the stars, threading light through their dreams. The room floats, untethered, as if time itself waits outside, knocking softly but never entering. Tonight's journey, as every night before and after, will carry its listeners through wonders unimagined. Past rivers of starlight, beneath arches of ancient song, into the gentle palm of the sleeping universe. For when the sun goes to sleep, the world is not left in darkness, but handed instead to the keepers of the night. A gentle moon, a gathering of stars, and the stories that become the dreams of all living things. In the highest reaches of the night sky, far above where the tallest mountains dare to stretch, there exists a room unlike any other. A room suspended in the seventh heaven. Here, the light does not glare or burn. Instead, it softens and shimmers, gently covering every surface like a silken veil, weaving time itself into a slower, sweeter melody. Within this gentle glow, the moon arrives, preparing for her nightly ritual. She gathers to her side the crowd of little stars that, after their long journey across the dark, huddle close, seeking comfort and warmth. The moon's bed is no ordinary place of rest. It does not stand heavy on a floor or creak with the weight of stone or wood. There is no golden headboard, no silver frame, for the moon's bed is made of clouds, those softest, most ephemeral treasures in the sky. Far above the ground, these celestial clouds float in gentle clusters, bright and milky white, lighter than a whisper, and as fragrant as hillside grass after the first summer rain. Their touch is cool, their scent a memory of childhood, bringing with it the sense of quiet magic. Every evening, just as the sun completes its fiery journey and dips behind the world, these very special clouds begin their evening dance, coming together from every direction. They spin in slow circles, rolling and folding over one another, until they form a perfect downy nest. A round bed, large enough for the moon to rest comfortably and still leave plenty of space for the dozens of little stars, each glowing softly as they find their place beside her. When they settle, the clouds sing, not with voices, but with an almost inaudible hum that drifts on the air like a forgotten tune. The sound is the language of wind and dreams, a lullaby made not of words, but of hope and sighs. Those who listen closely will feel their hearts unburden, their troubles melting away like dew, becoming as weightless as the clouds themselves. Beside this dreamy bed, the moon guards a priceless treasure, one not found in any world below, but stitched together in the oldest corners of the heavens. It is the starlight blanket, woven long ago from strands of pure radiance. This magical fabric is the legacy of Cygnus, the great constellation, known in old stories as the swans of the Milky Way. The legend tells that the swans, once dancers of unrivaled grace, had flown back and forth across the night sky, tracing patterns with their wings. But one evening, as dusk stretched the sky into deep velvet, the dancers heard a small star weeping. The little star shivered with cold, unable to rest among the sharp pinpricks of night. The swans paused their endless flight and gathered glowing threads, catching the rays that gleamed from every shining planet and vibrant comet. Patiently, they wove these lights together. A shimmer of moonlight on still water, the gentle orange of Saturn's afternoon daydreams, the flickering blue-violet of summer rain falling on a sun-bleached world. What grew beneath their wings was a blanket unlike any ever seen, sparkling with thousands of tiny moving stars. A tapestry warm enough to calm the coldest fears and soothe even the smallest hearts. Each night, as sleep beckons, the moon gently unfolds this luminous blanket. She drapes it over herself, and the cluster of little stars gathered so close at her side. The instant the starlight blanket falls into place, all sound seems to hush. There's no more wind, no restless breeze. The dazzling light softens to a silver glow, wrapping the entire room in serene silence. The stars, once wide-eyed with excitement and mischief, now relax, cozy and content beneath the magical covering. Through the hush, only the faintest murmur remains. The sound of the stars' laughter, soft and low, like the breathing of the sky itself. The little stars, nestling side by side, glow in shades that do not chase away the darkness but invite it in, helping lull each other toward dreams. Their soft, gentle phosphorescence is not meant to light the way or burn with purpose, but to comfort, to cradle, and to invite sleep. The moon sits by them, serene and loving, her silver light illuminating the stardust hair of the smallest star. She runs her gentle fingers through the sparkling strands, humming along with the music of the clouds. Her voice is clear and melodic, sweet as wind chimes that sing on a still night. The kind of voice that can coax flowers into bloom or make shadows go quiet. She whispers to her precious companions, her tone filled with promise and wonder. Lie still, little stars. Tonight's story is about to begin. Around her, the smallest stars sigh with happiness, curling up tighter, drifting on the edge of slumber. In this twilight place, between dream and waking, old tales are spun from light and memory. The clouds, sensing the peace radiating from the moon's words, slow their circling and settle in, wrapping the room in even greater softness. With the starlight blanket tucked beneath their tiny chins, each little star closes its eyes, trusting that in the moon's presence, nothing can go astray. As the moon draws quiet, a new magic takes root. Now and again, one of the stars whispers a wish, carried upward with its breath. Some dream of distant suns and golden mornings. Others dream of curious adventures, of dancing again with the swans, or riding on the tail of a comet. But here, right now, they are safe, sheltered in light and story, floating between the world that is known and the dreams that are waiting beyond. Night deepens. Beneath the starlit blanket, the moon's room in the seventh heaven is awash with the delicate gleam of dreams. The world below grows silent too, as if listening to the secrets and songs of the stars above. And high upon her cloudbed, the moon remains vigilant, watching over her slumbering companions, guiding them gently into the world of sleep, where every dream is spun from light, wrapped in warmth, and sprinkled with the silver dust of hope. Whenever twilight melts into the velvet folds of night, and the hush of darkness wraps around the world, there is a moment of stillness so profound that it seems even time holds its breath. In that quiet, the little stars nestle beneath their starry blankets, content and comforted, while the restless winds finally curl up and sleep. The clouds, weary from their drifting, settle into silence, and the world is at peace. When all is serene and shadows dance gently across the heavens, the moon lifts her face to the sky and begins to whisper her stories. Her voice is not grand, but deep and soothing, moving slowly like ripples upon the surface of a secret lake. The sound falls softly as music without melody, the gentle tinkle of faraway crystal bells, the tender brush of midnight wind. Her words are as delicate as silver ink, unfurling across the boundless night, weaving tales into every corner of the cosmos. Each night, the moon has a new story. Each is stitched together from the fabric of loneliness, hope, and the brave yearning of beings who wish to belong. There is a quiet courage in her stories, a reminder that in the infinite universe, even solitude has its own kind of beauty. Tonight, the story begins with a distant world, unnoticed and adrift. Once upon a time, at the edge of the universe where the stars grew thin and darkness pressed close, there lived a small, lonely planet named Solano. Solano did not circle a warming sun, nor did comets or travelers pass nearby. She spun endlessly, lost in a veil of cold shadow. Her nights were endless, and her sky held no bright companions. The emptiness grew inside her. She longed to see the colors of dawn, wished to feel the warmth that others spoke of in their galactic songs, and dreamt of finding her own celestial family. Still, Solano's dreams refused to fade. Each day she pictured sister planets painted with forests, oceans, and clouds drifting playfully above. She called to the universe with all her heart, sending her hopes into the darkness. For a long time, there was no reply, only the quiet hum of empty space. But Solano's wish was powerful. One night, she began to transform. Within her core, a gentle glow awakened, a trembling, tentative light, blue and soft as the mist curling above ancient seas. Solano's rotation slowed, allowing that hidden light to grow. It was not sunlight. It was not borrowed, but a light of her very own. The soft shimmer spilled across her surface, painting delicate halos across her dark side. As her glow shimmered through the cosmic silence, an old meteorite, traveling on a path that crossed many centuries, noticed something new on his journey. Drawn by this strange and beautiful light, he slowed and paused beside Solano. He had not rested for ages, but this gentle glow beckoned him close. "Oh," the meteorite said, his voice ancient and rough from countless travels. "It has been a long, long time since I've seen such a wonderful, mysterious light." For the first time, Solano smiled. The loneliness did not vanish, but it no longer weighed as heavy. She had been seen, and in that gaze, she found a friend. The universe, in its immense silence, had finally answered her call. Beneath the same moon, another tale drifts on the silver tide of night, a story of restlessness and the quest for belonging. There was once a shooting star named Luno, restless and bright, streaking across the sky like a silver brushstroke on a velvet canvas. Unlike other shooting stars, Luno did not fall. He could not find one place where he truly belonged. He soared past Earth, listening to the wishes whispered into the night. Everyone wished upon him, hoping for dreams to come true. But no one ever asked Luno what he wished for. He glided close to the sun, hoping its warmth could hold him. But the embrace was too hot, blinding and fierce, leaving him lonely as always. He veered past Saturn's rings, but the space was crowded, busy with moons and bands of dust, leaving him no room of his own. So Luno journeyed further, searching always for a home, somewhere to rest his burning heart. One quiet night, he reached a place unlike any other, a silent field of unformed stardust. It was vast, empty, peaceful, a space waiting to become something new. Tired and longing for rest, Luno stopped moving. He hovered in stillness, surrounded only by the soft sigh of creation's promise. As he slowed, the last of his light brightened, then danced out of him in a final radiant flare. The light poured out and mingled with the primordial dust, and where he shone, a newborn star began to breathe with shimmering gold. Luno at last had a home, not as a wandering traveler, but as the spark that awakened new life in the universe. Still, the moon's stories were not finished. Her words lingered, spinning tales for every dreaming star. Once upon a time, there was a ship named Aria drifting through the endless reaches of space. She carried no people, but on board were treasures, songs that echoed humanity's laughter, paintings of rolling green fields, and the gentle scent of lavender pressed into tiny vials. Aria sailed past planets and nebulae, her journey unknown even to those who had launched her. She was utterly alone, voyaging beyond maps, holding only the memories of home in her heart. Her loneliness became a song, a sorrowful lullaby that drifted across the silent void. The Milky Way, the fairy tapestry of the night, heard the song and wept stardust tears of compassion. She stretched down gentle beams, curving and curling into luminous paths. Guided by their glow, Aria followed through the darkness, ever hopeful. At last, she saw a tiny blue world gleaming in the black, a beloved Earth, awash in dreams and memory. With a heart full of longing, Aria did not return to land, but circled the world in an endless dance. Like a bird returning to its nest, She found her orbit and rested, becoming a sparkling satellite, a guardian in the nighttime, forever part of the sky. Each time the moon falls silent, the little stars sigh contentedly, their faces peaceful in slumber. The dreams the moon weaves lift and swirl above them. Some become dashing meteors, some drift as cosmic dust, others float gently downward, becoming wishes nestled into the hearts of humanity. And as the first hints of dawn stretch softly across the horizon, the moon, ever kind, ever watchful, smiles to herself and says, "Tomorrow I will tell another story, just as gentle, just as full of hope." And high above the still sleeping world, the promise of new tales lingers, glowing silver in the coming light. As the story wound its final delicate threads through the tapestry of the night, something began to change in the sky. The moon, whose voice had danced for hours among the stars, started to speak slower, the once lively tales now trailing off like the last fingers of light touching the tips of distant hills. The moon's stories, always so full of enchantment, now felt as though they were being gently carried away by a slow nighttime breeze. The voice stretched and softened, each word lingering a moment longer, until it was thin and wispy, like the memory of a dream just before waking. The stars, which had once sparkled with every twist of the story, now seemed to settle into themselves, drawing their light closer as each story found its gentle end. They were nestled close under their blanket of starlight, little points of fire that no longer pranced in the sky, but instead radiated a quiet, cozy warmth. If one could listen closely, you might almost hear the contented hum of the stars, their bursts of laughter now gone, replaced by the soft crackle of embers after the fire has burned low. It was a gathering of friends who have talked until words no longer suffice, and only the comfort of presence remains. And then, a yawn. A long stretched out, unhurried yawn, rising out of the depths of space itself. It was the moon, stretching just a little through the thick velvet of night, releasing a sigh so wide and slow that it touched from the farthest east to the furthest west. The yawn was not an exclamation, not a signal of impatience. No, it was the culminating breath of the universe, inviting all to rest. It rippled through the sky, soft as a feather striking the surface of a lake, sending rings of calm outward in every direction. One after the other, the tiny stars joined the ritual. Their mouths, small and delicate, appeared just for a moment in flickers of pearly phosphorescence. Some stars yawned so briefly it was over before you could catch it. Others yawned with such exaggerated slowness that their shivering light seemed to fold inwards, hugging themselves into sleep. The smallest stars did not even have time to stretch. Their yawns rolled them right into dreams, and their eyelids closed like the folding of petals at dusk. Slowly, inexorably, each star allowed the weight of the night to pull it gently down into silence and repose. Even the boldest, most stubborn lights lost their struggle and slipped away, letting go of the world for a while. A few soft voices lingered, whispering just before they, too, dissolved into sleep. What story will the moon tell tomorrow? One wondered, voices faded as a thought at dawn. Another mused, perhaps a tale about a star that can sing, or a wind that has forgotten how to fly. But those words were swallowed by the deep, endless silence. The silence that is not empty, but alive with the echoes of all that has just happened. A silence as comforting as a lullaby once sung. In the chamber suspended in the seventh heaven, a hush wrapped around all things. The wind was still. No playful dance of clouds was there to distract the eye. All movement in the sky drew quietly to a close. Yet the crescent moon still poured out its pale silver glow, painting the world with the gentlest light, like the last smile before dreams take hold. No more laughter, no more stories weaving their way through the cosmos. Only the sacred hush, the fullness of a silence that holds every memory, every yawn, every whispered wish. The world was not empty, but brimming with all it had received. Tales woven from moonlight, the embrace of starlight, and the soft drifting of dreams across a world settling to rest. Should anyone earthbound or celestial still be awake and look skyward, they would see a gentle sleeping host of stars, each one looking like a tiny fleck of silver dust, caught between one breath and the next, all set adrift by the moon's final tail. The stars no longer blinked or burned, but instead rested in the sky's palm, becalmed, beautiful in a way that only the night can grant. There was no competition, no striving, just the deep shared peace of a well-kept night. Meanwhile, the moon, having tended the sky and tucked the stars beneath the starlit quilt, leaned quietly against its bed of clouds. It traced slow, sleepy spirals in the sky, its hand gliding as if making sure each starlet was tucked in, each corner of the celestial blanket smoothed down. Then, content and serene, the moon let its eyes close, round and bright and full of slumber. The smile it wore was soft and knowing, perhaps the smile of someone who has watched over others with a gentle heart, and now at last can turn inward to their own rest. No one could say what the moon might dream. Perhaps it conjured stories yet untold, a promise that tomorrow's night would be filled with new wonders, new adventures whispered to attentive stars. Or maybe the moon's heart yearned for a universe in which every creature had somewhere safe, somewhere warm, somewhere to belong, where every being, whether made of stardust or shadow, could fold themselves into peaceful slumber without fear. And so the sky drifted in its fullness. The stories, now spun and settled, lingered as shimmering possibility, seeds for the following nights. The silence wrapped everything in its assuring arms, letting dreams grow and take flight. Night's end did not come with a bang or a new story, but a sigh, a promise kept, a hope carried forward in the heart of sleep. From now until the next moonrise, the world would be peaceful in its hush. The sleepy breath of the starlit sky would watch over all, assuring that even when the tales are over and the laughter fades, there is still beauty, there is still belonging, and there is always another dream to come. When the last gentle yawn slipped quietly from the lips of the cosmos, it merged with the hush that blankets a world on the edge of sleep. In that peaceful lull, the little stars, thousands upon thousands scattered high above, curled closer together, folding themselves into the clouds like downy cotton seeds. Each slumbered soundlessly, drifting softly into the night's embrace, their silvery twinkles dimming into the velvet darkness. Above them all, suspended in quiet majesty, the moon watched over these sleeping lights, a silent guardian in the seventh heaven. Up there, where rooms have no walls or ceilings, the moon's chamber was boundless, a space where the sky itself was the only backdrop. The emptiness was not lonely, but vast and gentle, as if the whole universe left space to breathe, a canvas where dreams could be painted without edges. The moon, wise and round, let out a sigh as delicate as snowfall, pleased at the work of a storyteller who, with patience and care, had sung even the brightest souls to sleep. From its vantage among the clouds, the moon looked down at the little ones, watching how the stardust settled around them, how their hands intertwined in sleep, clinging to each other for comfort. Here and there, a faint glimmer slipped out, the last flickers of starlight glowing like night lights left burning for comfort. The moon's pale face softened into a smile, serene and wise, content in the knowledge that to hold the night is sometimes simply to cradle its dreams. So the moon, having seen that all was peaceful, nestled down onto a plump cloud shaped by the winds of dusk. Over its round body, the shimmering blanket of starlight slid into place, settling so lightly it might have been a memory, not a covering at all. Then the hush deepened, swallowing even the whispers. No more words or songs, only the slow, ancient rhythm of the universe pulsed on, the heartbeat of time itself, carrying every planet, every sleeping star, with a melody older than memory, soothing all creation with the lullaby of existence. Gradually, the moon's eyes grew heavy, their silvery glow yielding to the darkness. It drifted down into its own dream, the first dream of the night. Within that dream, the moon's spirit soared. It slipped effortlessly beyond the familiar galaxy, leaving behind the Milky Way's spiral arms and gentle haze. Instead, it discovered a new heaven, untouched and unknown, swirling in colors more vivid and strange than any ever glimpsed from Earth. In this distant realm, the stars were clustered differently, their alignment at once foreign and inviting, promising stories yet to be told. At the heart of this strange galaxy burned a modest sun. Not the roaring inferno the moon had often gazed upon, but a quiet star, glowing like the flame of a candle in the midst of winter. Its radiance did not dazzle or blind. Instead, it cast a warm amber glow, flickering gently through the darkness like poetry being read aloud. Each line of light was a verse, every shadow an invitation to listen more closely. Around it, the planet spun, but not in orderly orbits dictated by gravity or time. Here, everything danced in a wild, joyful spiral, as though the rules were set by music, not by physics. Mercury, ever swift, trembled in its path, making delicate sounds like a bell crafted from silver, ringing softly with every twirl. Venus, draped in shimmering veils, hummed with the sweet undertones of a stringed instrument, her music lingering long after she passed by. Mars, full of energy and fire, kept a bold, thumping rhythm, his surface echoing with the beat of unseen drums. Beyond them, Saturn spun with stately grace, its translucent rings singing choir-like, drawing gentle harmonies from the cold void. All together, they formed a circle, revolving not in rigid lines, but weaving in and out like dancers around a celestial fire. Each body brought its own sound, its own color, its own hope to the dance. There was no leader, no conductor, only the music itself, the shared heartbeat of their universe. Amid them, weightless and bright, the moon found itself whirling, its silvery jewels trailing behind, a skirt woven of shadow and sparkling dust, luminous in the dream's eternal twilight. Never before had the moon felt so free, so feather-light. Freed from the duty of watching over dreams, it now was part of one, spinning in joy beneath the sun's loving smile. While the dream unfolded, the true universe outside continued its peaceful slumber. The planets were still. Their orbits paused, as if time itself had curled up for the night. The stars refused to budge, content in their corners of the cosmos, each holding its breath in the silence. Every living thing, every shining spark, had surrendered to the slow rhythm of sleep. Even time, the most tireless traveler, seemed to halt, hovering in the cool, infinite hush. The night wind, soft, almost formless, wove through the endless sky. It carried not the chill of empty space, but gentle, mysterious sounds, skimming over the surface of dreams. Some said it was the strum of a distant harp. Others, the faintest whisper of good night drifting from the depths of the universe, a message sent from galaxy to galaxy, comfort for every sleeping star. Within the moon's cozy, borderless chamber, stillness reigned absolutely. Movement belonged to memory. Light turned inward to illuminate secret, silent wishes. The room, if it could be called a room, became the gentle heart of all the night, the one peaceful place where every light could find rest and every hope could transform into a dream. And deep within its slumber, the moon heard itself speaking, not to an audience, not in the soothing tone meant for little stars, but softly for itself alone. It spun tales of distant places, hinting at wonders unseen, reminding itself that somewhere in an uncharted galaxy, a lonely star still waits for a story. Who knows, it mused. Perhaps that star is dreaming at this very moment of meeting me. So the tale does not conclude. Instead, as this chapter's gentle words fade, the night sky grows quiet, as if pausing to take one last deep breath. Darkness draws around the world, not with fear, but as a comfort, a gentle shroud that hushes every worry. The storyteller grows silent. The listeners, whether starlight or moonbeam, planet or child, surrender to sleep. Across the universe, each chest rises and falls in rhythm with the hidden lullaby, wrapped in the kind night like a beloved blanket. The story continues where only dreams can follow, unfolding quietly, softly, forever carried on the heartbeat of the sleeping sky. Thank you everyone for your interest. Please like and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications of more stories.